Alright, so I'm here with Josh Cooper. He posted a bunch of online guitar lessons for free when he actually could have made considerable amount of money over time by giving lessons, but decided not to, and thereby doing kind of a charity act for humanity. Why would you do that?
Well, when I was a teenager, I got lots of private one-on-one music lessons. Of course, I learned music in school, and after I don't know, my grandparents paid for guitar lessons and that when I was a kid, and I always thought it was funny that after 2 years of taking lessons, I knew you know 7 or 8 songs, and I could get about halfway through them. And I didn't really know how to play scales. I couldn't build chords or anything like that. So, you know, as time progressed, I wound up meeting an old blues guy from Chicago, and he started giving me one-on-one lessons. And I didn't have to pay for him. It was kind of just a friendship thing. And this guy was, very old school Chicago blues stylist. And he told me that everything that I had learned traditionally about music. And when I met him, I was at the point where I was actually borrowing books from universities and learning classical compositional techniques and things like that. And he said that I could take all of that and just throw it away. And he had a whole different kind of technique for teaching music, and he called it shortcuts. And sure enough, about 6 months later, all the music theory that I had spent, probably the better part of 10 years or so learning, it wasn't really relevant anymore to the technique of his that I had learned. And what I had also noticed that after I had learned his technique, I still understood traditional music theory, in the way that it's taught in the textbooks. But he taught it inside of 6 months instead of teaching it, over the course of a decade, like most private music instructors do. And a typical price for a private music lesson is about anywhere from $50 to $75 an hour. And that can get kind of pricey. In a world where almost everything in some way, culture revolves around music, style, and what's cool, what's hip, what's everybody listening to. The world kind of revolves around music, and I didn't really think it was fair that all the traditional music teachers that I see in this area, and I have a lot of people ask me for lessons, and I give them lessons, but I kind of feel bad. I charge them not even half the going rate. And over the course of time, I was just like, yeah, I'll give you lessons. Go to my online, and there's lessons there for free. There's 6 months worth of lessons, and it consists of about 10 videos. And all you have to do is reiterate everything that you see on the videos. And the thing is with traditional music teachers, they drag it on and on and on and on, and they never really teach you how to be a functional musician. And that's kind of what I wanted to change. I wasn't looking to make money off of people's thirst for knowledge. They just want to become musicians, or they want to become better musicians. They want to be guitar players, and they don't have $600 over the course of a year to blow on somebody that's just kind of dragging them along and drip feeding them the years where the hard work that the instructor did to learn everything, because somebody taught him that way. So I had a more developed technique for teaching music, and of course I feel it should be free. And after you spend 3 to 6 months working with my 10 videos, you're not going to need my or my instructional videos anymore. You're going to have the tools that you need to create music on your own. You're going to have a level-headed understanding and a functional understanding to create music. You're going to understand time signature. You're going to understand sight reading. You're going to understand chord structure, complex scale structure, numerical formula. Or if you don't want to know, the gory details of classical music theory, then you can use what my friend Rick called shortcuts. And those are also very usable. And that's literally something I have time tested and proved over and over again. Like, for instance, my grandmother, she's 80 years old. And I told her I could teach her how to be a blues guitar soloist in 30 seconds. And of course, she thought that was just ridiculous. But I taught her, one of these shortcuts, these adaptations to playing guitar, where you don't need to know music theory. You don't need to know scales. All you need to know how to do is remember a shape, a box. And there's basically you have there's 6 strings, and you've got 2 notes being played on each string. So all of these at the 5th fret, this is shape 1. Okay, so you play all these. And then it's positional playing, so you've got your pinky, your ring finger, your middle finger, and your index finger. So there's 5 shapes, and in the first shape, like I said, it's all index finger, and then it goes pinky, ring, 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 pinky, pinky. And that's the shape. And if I had I don't have a track with me, but if I were to play a simple track in, A minor, and you play that shape over it, what you have is the makings of a guitar solo that it's not possible to make what they say is a sour note. And it's called the pentatonic scale. But of course, when they teach you the pentatonic scale in traditional music theory, they're saying, well, you're playing the root, you're playing the minor third, you're playing the 4th and the 5th, you're omitting the 6th, and you're omitting the 9th or the 2nd, and they make it so technical. And you don't need to know all of that. All you need to know is you do this, and then throw your own flair in there. And it works. And that's all you need to know. So why would I spend 2 years teaching a 10-year-old scale theory when I can say, no, you don't need to know scale theory. What you need to know how to do is play a guitar solo, right? Well, yeah, that's why I'm here. Okay, this is what you do. You just play those shapes. And there's 4 more shapes, and they fit together like puzzle pieces. So once you know all 5 shapes, you move them all around, and you can go in and out of the keys. And there's shortcuts to knowing keys. You don't need to memorize all the notes on the fretboard. If you're playing, this in A minor, and this is your guitar solo, well, say you're with a group of musicians and they say, well, we're playing in A major now. Well, then, simply to convert minor to major, you take that first position shape and you move it down in pitch 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You play the same shape. You are now in A major. Okay, there's another 6 months worth of traditional music lessons. And it doesn't need. I taught you that in a minute and a half. 2 scales. How to play guitar solos without making any mistakes. And unfortunately, and they call it. I think they call it classical conditioning. The way they teach people how to think in traditional. Public education, well, they don't really teach people how to think.
Repetition.
They teach people how to follow. Yep. And every music instructor that I've ever come across, they're not teaching you how to be a musician. They're teaching you how to play music or how to play songs. They'll teach you half a song. Well, for today's lesson, we're going to teach you "Knocking on Heaven's Door." Okay, there's your lesson. Give me my $30 and I'll go home. See you next week. Like, what is that? How about I teach you all the chords, and then and we spend half an hour and we, teach you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the chords, and then I show you how you can move them, because those are the only chords you need to know how to play. And then I just give you a list of all the songs you want to know, and Knocking on Heaven's Door is GDC, and then GDA, and okay, so that's that's a real short way. Everybody's got a radio. You look at your chord chart and you listen to the song and you play along with it, and now you know how to play it. I didn't need to spend 4 lessons teaching you how to play one song. And one song costs you $120 to learn how to play. No, it takes 30 seconds. And then I give you a piece of paper, and now you know how to play the song. And you don't have to sit in front of me, embarrassed, your instructor, going, "Oh, I'm really bad at this," and your instructor is really, really good. So he spends the majority of the lesson just showing off how impressive he is at playing guitar, while the student just sits there in amazement, only because he's not that good. Chickens, get! Chickens, get! So, that was, I really did feel that, music instructors, traditional music instructors, they overdo it with how much they charge people, and I just thought it was a sense of musical charity, kind of paying homage to the guy that taught me, and I was paying it forward in respect to him.
And his name?
His name's Rick.
And that's been Josh Cooper. You can go to his website.
It's I am Boss Blues. No. It's Boz Blues Guitar Method at YouTube. BOSBLUZ Guitar Method. All one word.